Okay, so we will be discussing problem for number 4, intercompany bond transaction. So, as usual, the first step will be the analysis of the intercompany transaction. So, I'll have three columns again. The amount as reported by the parties concerned, the amount that should be reported in the consolidated financial reports, and the adjustment required. So, there will be 5 items to be adjusted, um, namely the bonds payable, investment in bonds, loss on extinguishment, interest income, and interest expense. So let's have bonds payable first. It is reported as 100,000 by the subsidiary, Sadowski, but it should be reported only at half of its amount because half was considered extinguished when it was purchased by Roger. So there will be an adjustment of 50,000. Investment in bonds, uh, it's reported at 52,500 by Roger, but it should be reported as nil because you cannot have an investment with yourself because in substance, Roger and Sadowski are regarded as one entity. So there must be no investment in bonds. So there will be an adjustment of 52,500. Loss on extinguishment, none is reported, but an amount of 2,700, which is the difference between uh, 52,700, which is the amount paid by Roger, and the amount of the bonds, which is 50,000, half of 100,000. So 52,700 less 50,000, that's 2,700. So that will be recognized as loss in the financial statement. So there will be an adjustment of 2,700. For interest income, 1,300 was reported by Roger, but none must be reported because you cannot earn income from an investment to a parent or to a subsidiary because, as pointed out earlier, the two entities are essentially one and the same entity. So there will be an adjustment of 1,300. Interest expense is reported at 12,000 by Sadowski, but it must be adjusted to 10,500. This is computed by, I think I should launch my calculator here. Okay. So, um, 100,000 pesos is considered outstanding for only 9 months. So times 12% times 9 over 12. So that's 9,000. Okay. And then for the rest of the year from October to December, only 50,000 is considered outstanding. So interest will be computed based on 50,000 pesos. So that should be 9,000 plus 50,000 times 12% times 3 over 12. So that will be 10,500. So there will be an adjustment amounting to 1,500. Step 2, we have analysis of change in net assets of subsidiaries. So again, we'll have three columns here, January 1 and December 31, and then the amount expired during the year. So according to our book, the book value on the date of business combination, January 1, 20x1 is 200,000. And then its fair value is reported at, well, there's none, but what we have is an overstatement in the equipment amounting to 30,000. So that will be our fair value adjustment here, deduction of 30,000. So that means our fair value as of January 1, the date of combination is 170,000. For December 31, we have 343,000 owner's equity as reported on Sadowski's December 31, 20x1 balance sheet. For the fair value adjustment, 5,000 will expire. That is 30,000 divided by 5. Wait, I think it must be divided by I think that's 6,000. I think I had an error there. So let's just adjust it accordingly. So I think this is 30,000 divided by uh the remaining useful life is 5 years. So it's supposedly 6,000. Sorry for that. So 6,000. So let me adjust. Okay. So that will be 24,000 fair value adjustment balance. Okay. And then we also have loss on extinguishment to be reported by Sadowski, now, because he is Sadowski is the issuer of the bonds. So the bonds bought by Roger will be considered extinguished. So there is a loss on extinguishment. We already talked about this in step one. So we have 2,700 deduction because it will be recognized. And then there's the cancellation of interest expense. This one, we're talking about this one. Okay. This one, 1.5. So that will be canceled. So canceling interest expense will increase your net assets. So that's an addition of 1,500. Okay, so therefore our uh fair value of the subsidiary as of December 31 is 317,800. Let me recheck. Yes, okay, right formula. So there's a net increase of 147,800. Okay. Let's continue. For the goodwill, you will just compare the consideration transferred, which is 150,000 as mentioned in the problem. And the non-controlling interest is measured at fair value. So that's 43,000. Uh, so we have total of 193,000. And then we will compare it to the fair value of net identifiable assets, 170,000. Here, actually, it's here. Step one, okay? Or step two, rather. So there's a goodwill of 23,000. Okay. Before we proceed, okay, I'll just adjust it later. I think I forgot to include the goodwill share of the non-controlling interest in computing the non-controlling interest. So I'll just adjust. So I have two errors now. Okay. So let's just adjust accordingly. Okay, let's have step four, consolidated retained earnings. Of course, our starting point will be the retained earnings reported by Roger at 1,000 or 1,400,000. And then we have the net change in the net assets or net change in the fair value of the net identifiable assets of the subsidiary, 147,800, as can be seen here in step 2. We will exclude the change in other comprehensive income amounting to 15,000 because it will be reported separately, no, as a separate line item in the financial statement. So the 15,000 is obtained by deducting 23,000 OCI of Sadowski as of December 31, or rather deducting 8,000 other comprehensive income of Sadowski on January 1 from the other comprehensive income of the same company as of December 31. So there's a difference of 15,000. So you exclude that from the 147,800. So what will be left is change in retained earnings, 132,800. Multiply that by the share of parent, Roger, 80%. So that will be 106,240. And then we also have here the interest income to be canceled out. Now, this is the interest income related to the bond investment of Roger. Okay. That will be canceled because it is an intercompany transaction. So, wait, I'll just have a second look on my previous steps because of the various errors. This 24,000 is NCI and then Aya goodwill. Yeah, so all errors will be okay. So I think this is it. Okay. So we'll have consolidated retained earnings of 1,504,940. Step 5, we have consolidated other comprehensive income. We'll start with the other comprehensive income reported by the parent, 100,000. And then we'll give him or give the parent its share in the other comprehensive income change of the subsidiary. So 80% of 15,000. So that will be 12,000. So therefore, our consolidated other comprehensive income is 112,000. Next, step 6, non-controlling interest. I'll have some adjustment here. Uh, the fair value of the net identifiable assets of Sadowski is 317,800. Let me check. Yes, here, 317,800. Okay. And then I think what I forgot here is wait. Uh okay, let's just continue. I think I'll realize it as we go on. Okay, so we multiply 317,800 by 20%. So that will be the share of the non-controlling interest in the net identifiable assets of Sadowski as of December 31. So 63,560. I think the goodwill is here. Yes, yeah. Okay, so we also give him or give the NCI the share, its share in goodwill. So we start with the fair value of the non-controlling interest as of January 1, that's 43,000 versus its share in the fair value of the subsidiary as of December 31. So 170,000. Where's 170,000? Wait, let me check. Wait. Ah, sorry. Let me repeat that. Okay. So we start with the fair value of the non-controlling interest as of January 1, which is 43,000, and compare it to the fair value of the of the net identifiable assets as of January 1, which is 170 multiplied by 20% because that's the share of the non-controlling interest. So 43,000 will be compared to 34,000. So the difference will be 9,000. So that's the goodwill. The goodwill share of the non-controlling interest is 9,000. So therefore, our non-controlling interest as of December 31, 20x1 is 72,560. Okay. Okay, let's proceed. Step 6, consolidated net income. I think, okay, we have three columns here, I think. Okay, so Rogers' net income and Sadowski's net income as reported in their respective income statement. So the amounts are 761,300 and 143,000. The adjustments are the following. Deduction of loss on extinguishment amounting to 2,700 for Sadowski. And then we also have adjustment for depreciation, 6,000. It originated here, this one, 6,000. Okay? So that will be a deduction from depreciation. Effect is addition to net income. Okay? So that's an addition, 6,000. Interest income to be cancelled by Roger, 1,3. Interest expense to be cancelled by Sadowski is 1,5. Okay? Okay. So, that will be that will result to the following adjusted net income. Okay. So, for Roger, 760,000. For the Sadowski, 147,800. So, our consolidated net income is 907,800. So, we will now divide that between Roger and Sadowski. For the parent share, the whole or 100% of Roger's income is attributable to Roger, of course, 760,000. 147,800 will be divided 80%, 20%. So, 118,240 for the parent, 29,560 for the non-controlling interest. So, here is the total, or here are the totals. For the parent share, it's 78,240. For the non-controlling interest share, 29,560. Okay, let's continue. I think I made a consolidated income statement here. Okay, so the sales reported by the two. There are no adjustments, so you simply add. For depreciation, they reported 500,000 or operating expense rather, 500,000 and 80,000 respectively. But we will deduct 6,000. That's the expiration of the fair value adjustment related to the equipment. So the operating expense is 574,000. Interest expense canceled, uh, or rather reported by Sadowski is 12,000, but we will cancel 1,500. So the adjusted interest expense there is 10,500. Interest income reported by Roger related to the bond investment is 1,300, but that will be eliminated. So therefore, no interest income related to the investment in bonds will be reported in the consolidated financial statements. Loss on extinguishment will be recognized. So that will be an adjustment, 2,700. So it will appear in the consolidated FS, 2,700. And then other comprehensive income reported by the two, 60,000 and 50,000, no adjustment. So you just add. Okay, so therefore our net income is 907,800, which is consistent with the amounts above, as can be seen here. Okay, so they are equal. Okay. Okay, so let's now move on to the last step, consolidated balance sheet. Uh, I think I have to make some adjustments here. Okay. Uh, I think I have to make some adjustments. Let's see. Wait. There's, let me see. Okay. I'll just correct as we go on. Let's have the columns. Roger, Sadowski, and adjustments. For other assets, they reported 1,797,500 and 473,000. My adjustment is we have, wait, let me return here. Okay, we have 24,000 pesos of fair value adjustment here, 24. So therefore, the error here is this one. Why is it 26,000? E3 less E13. Let me see that. Mm, How did that happen? Okay, sorry for that. I think it's just a simple error. Okay. I think it's just E13. Yeah. Mhm. Sorry for that. Our adjustment is 24,000. Okay. Because that's the outstanding or the remaining balance of the fair value adjustment. So 24,000. So consolidated other assets is 2,246,500. For goodwill, we recognize 23,000 as shown here. Where's the goodwill? Here. Here. 23,000 in step 3. Okay. Next, we get the total. Okay, so total assets is 2,269,500. For liabilities, no adjustment, so you simply add their respective liabilities. For bonds payable, Sadowski reported 100,000, but we will deduct 50,000. That's the extinguished bond because of the purchase of Roger. So, what will be reported in the consolidated balance sheet is the remaining 50,000. Share capital, you will only write 300,000, the amount related to the parent. For retained earnings, you have 1,504,940 as shown where? Where is it? Here, consolidated retained earnings, step 4. Okay? So, we put it there. Other comprehensive income is 112,000. It's in step 5, I think. Yes, here. Consolidated other comprehensive income, 112,000. Next, non-controlling interest is 72,560. Where is it? Here. Step 6, 72,560. And what else? No more. We just guess the total. So, 2,269,500. So, we've got a balanced balance sheet. Okay. So, that's it for Item number 4.